Let's check in on David Pakman, see how he's doing. Over at the David Pakman subreddit, there's an actual question posted with 229 upvotes. Do you know any normal people who support what Donald and Elon are doing? Is it only white supremacists? David, what have you done?
In this video, Tim Pool hilariously reacts to David Pakman's subreddit and some of the recent statements made on there, such as all Trump supporters are white supremacists. Also in this clip, Tim Pool reports on Saturday Night Live's unfunny attempts to insult Trump supporters. With that, let's watch Tim Pool send a clear message to David Pakman and Saturday Night Live that the American people aren't paying attention to their pathetic attacks on Trump anymore.
If more folks went to church, we wouldn't be in this mess we're in now.
You know what? I agree with you, Doug. I'd like to shake your hand, sir. Here we go.
No,
oh, no. Oh, no, it's just a handshake. Yeah, it's just a handshake. Yeah, all right. You're welcome in Black Jeopardy anytime.
Well, thank you, my brother. Maybe I'll start a show for you to come on, and we'll call it White Jeopardy.
No. We don't need it. We don't need it.
I don't get what they're trying to do with the portrayal. It's just like a guy who's wearing a Trump hat and he's racist, and this is how they see it. This is how they portray it. You know what's funny is a lot of people in New York supported Trump. He made a lot of ground. He gained a lot of ground. And SNL's supposed to be for America. This is what they don't seem to understand. Trump won the popular vote. His approval rating is above water. He's got a positive approval rating. Who are you talking to? You know, man, I guess there's no point in trying to convince people. You can bring a horse to Harvard, but you can't make them learn, can you? New York Post says, America's sweetheart, Tom Hanks, was crucified by conservatives over his disgusting portrayal of a simple Trump-supporting racist on the SNL 50th anniversary special. Well, to be fair, nobody watches SNL except for these weird lefty types anyway, so that's probably why they're doing it. The two-time Academy Award winner returned to the stage Sunday night as Doug, a dumb MAGA hat-wearing contestant on the recurring bit Black Jeopardy, where the butt of the joke is Hank's character and the black contestants discovering their similarities. Okay. During the sketch, Doug, who first appeared in the comedy show in 2016, refuses to shake hands with the game show host, Darnell Hayes, played by Kenan Thompson. Don't like that. Whoa, 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 Doug blurts. Maybe I'll start a show for you to come on. We'll call it White Jeopardy. The skit outraged Trump supporters who quickly bashed it as tired and a disgusting trope. The show wonders why their ratings are in the gutter. Former RFK Jr. aide Link Lauren posted, Trump won the popular vote. This tired trope of MAGA is racist. It's disgusting. SNL is an unfunny show for snobbish liberal elites. Conservative commentator Benny Johnson raged, the show writers have learned nothing. He is correct. I am mad about it. Like, I don't care. I don't want, you know, look, my position has always been, you do you, woke enterprise, and I just won't buy it. Like, you make a video game where a pink-haired woman with a with the side of her head being shaved, with a prosthetic hand in World War I fighting against, you know, the Austro-Hungarian Empire or whatever.
Did you all hear all of that uproarious laughter with that handshake, he's a racist bit? Yeah, neither did I. This story's kind of personal to me because my favorite day of the week used to be Saturday, and I would be so excited to watch Saturday Night Live. I'd even stay in to watch Saturday Night Live over going out with friends sometimes. I loved it that much. It has just become a far left vehicle to make social statements. Even early on in its transformation to SJW Central, I gave it the benefit of the doubt. When Alec Baldwin, who's obviously a scumbag, did his Trump impression, I thought it was funny. It was, in my opinion, a good impression. Problem is, after they did it for 846 consecutive shows in a row, it's not quite as funny anymore. I'm getting a little sidetracked here, but stay with me. My favorite comedian of all time, hands down, is Norm Macdonald. And he talked about if he ever did impressions of anyone, they were people he held in high regard. So his impressions were really falling in that category. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. When someone like Alec Baldwin does Donald Trump, who despises Donald Trump, it takes something out of it. You can see through the impression that there's an agenda, and it's not as funny. Since I heard Norm Macdonald say that, I notice that now when I see people do impressions. Like Shane Gillis does the Donald Trump impression. I don't think he's pro-Trump or anti-Trump either way, but he does a hilarious Trump impression. You can tell there's just no agenda with it. It's just a spot-on funny impression. Not to mention, whether it's Saturday Night Live or a comedian, Trump jokes are the laziest, unfunniest jokes on the planet. Even if you've got a crowd that hates Donald Trump, every joke about him has been done 3 trillion times. And like Tim says, we're living in a country where Trump dominated the election in both the Electoral College and popular vote. So you're running out of people that you'll automatically get a laugh out of with a dumb Trump joke. But yeah, I really long for the days when Saturday Night Live just had me in stitches most Saturdays. Anyway, let's get back to the video.
You're gonna buy it. I don't care that you made it. You can make whatever you want. People make walking simulator video games all the time. I just don't play it. Yo, I go on PlayStation all the time. It's not even about being woke. If your game is bad, I ain't touching it. If your show's stupid, I won't watch it. So when SNL keeps making garbage content, yeah, I don't care. Like, they're allowed to do it. I'm not mad. Like, if they did a segment called, like, Trump is really dumb and he's portrayed by Alec Baldwin, oh, wait, they did that 700,000 times. Yeah, they're allowed to do that. It's just stupid, and I won't watch it. The Onion is
I didn't even watch this prior to my whole rant on Alec Baldwin there. That's funny.
allowed to be garbage, too. I just don't read it. Babylon Bee is actually funny. SNL decided it was a good idea to depict Tom Hanks as a racist Trump supporter and a MAGA hat afraid to shake a black man's hand. Donald Trump just won a landslide election, has never been more popular with Americans and African Americans. Popular conservative social media account Libs of TikTok labeled it propaganda and lambasted it as dumb. The 3.5-hour special was chock full of jabs at the sitting president and his bold policies. During the opening monologue, SNL alum Steve Martin joked that he had just been on a boat in the Gulf of Steve Martin, a dig at Trump's decision to rename the Gulf of Mexico to America. Fellow Canadian comic and one of Martin's oldest pals, Martin Short, then joined him on stage, with Martin ribbing him about his immigration status. Do you have your passport on you? ICE, get him. Ha, ha, ha. Well, my friends, let's check in on David Pakman, see how he's doing. Over at the David Pakman subreddit, there's an actual question posted with 229 upvotes. Do you know any normal people who support what Donald and Elon are doing? Is it only white supremacists? David, what have you done? Oh, David Pakman. The dude used to be normal, but David's whole MO, you know, let me tell you about David Pakman. 10 years ago, I mean like 13, 14 years ago, he had on a woman from the Westboro Baptist Church and some hackers, part of a sect of the Anonymous hacker group. For those who don't know what Anonymous is, it quite literally means the word. So when a video emerged and it says, we won't, you know, we oppose the government doing this thing, Anonymous, it literally meant it was a random person who didn't leave their name. It didn't mean there was a group of people planning anything. But the media loved this idea that there was a hacker group of like 13 people with supreme hacker abilities called Anonymous. No, that's not how it works. Anyway, they had on these guys from a group that was actually called LulzSec at the time. And at the time, they weren't LulzSec. I believe they're just calling themselves Anonymous. And it was a wild time with Anonymous stuff. Crazy.
If you like watching videos like this one, like and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. Let's get back to the video.
To watch this stuff happen. But anyway, they hacked the Westboro Baptist Church in real time. David got a ton of attention for that. David's goal, in my opinion, having known the guy for this long, is that he largely just wanted to get the viewership. He was trying to figure out how to recreate these moments and get these viral sensations. And thus, you end up with content that is convoluted and misleading. You end up with people actually suggesting no one actually likes what Trump and Elon are doing except for white supremacists. Is that the world your audience lives in, David? Yeah, maybe it's just Reddit. I don't know. But that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. No wonder they watch shows like SNL and they're like, hey, MAGA racist. It's funny. One guy says, I have a friend who thinks the mass firings will make the government better. He's also dependent on that VA for medical care. Yeah, now let's see what happens when his waiting time to see a doctor has doubled or tripled. Hey, wait a minute. Thought we were supposed to be in favor of government health care. Oh, yeah. When the government doesn't function properly because Trump can get elected, that's democracy. Your wait times can double or triple. That kind of worries me about what you guys are going to implement with universal health care. One guy says, I know normal people who turn a blind eye and refuse to believe what's going on. These people aren't hateful and don't necessarily wish harm. They are just skeptical. Guys, you are in a bubble, okay? I can just pull up the aggregate approval rating. Regular people, meaning not you, they support what Trump is doing. Take a look at this one.
How embarrassed would you be if you ever engaged with a David Pakman subreddit? I guess there's a subreddit for everything because I would have put every dime I have on the fact that there's absolutely not a David Pakman subreddit. If you are one of those people and you happen to be listening, you really, really need to do some soul searching and ask yourself, what the hell am I doing with my life? If you're on the David Pakman subreddit, unironically, you might as well just put a sticker on your forehead that says, I'm an effing loser. It's so funny that David Pakman's subreddit has a question asking if normal people support what Trump and Elon are doing. Because I've expressed pretty much the opposite. I've said since they started auditing all these agencies in the government, who would be opposed to exposing waste, fraud, and abuse in the federal government? It's your money. Why wouldn't you want to know why wouldn't you want to know where it's going, how it's being abused, and who's corrupt? I can only think of a couple reasons. One, you just oppose it because the Republicans are doing it and you're on the quote unquote other side, or you're scared of what they're going to find and terrified that you'll be exposed for your corruption and you don't want to pay the consequences. And I suppose there's a third category. You just flat out hate this country. And to answer that subreddit question, Trump's approval rating is close to or above 50%. So unless half the country are white supremacists, which I wholeheartedly think David Pakman and his minions may believe, then yes, there are normal people, at least 100 to 200 million of them, that support what they're doing, dumb shit. How out of touch can you possibly be to ask a question like that? Or maybe this person's just parroting David Pakman's retarded talking points. Anyway, let's wrap up the video.
One from the David Pakman Show subreddit. I love this. I love reading this stuff. You guys, you got to go to these subreddits and read what they're talking about because Reddit is hilarious. We need to boycott any establishment that lets in patrons who wear MAGA apparel. MAGA Nazis should be socially ousted, not let into establishments, and generally should not feel comfortable going out in public sporting their support for Trump. Donald Trump is the popular mandate president. He won the popular vote. He is above water in the approval ratings, and you are acting like everyone else is crazy. I heard a saying the other day used among the bartenders that really stuck with me. You let one Nazi into the bar and suddenly it's a Nazi bar. I'm going to pause you right there. But when you let a commie in, it's not a commie bar? Oh, dude, shut up. All of us non-Trumpers need to organize mass boycotts of establishments that allow openly MAGA customers in, so that if they continue doing so, they financially bleed. This needs to be a nationwide thing. How do we get this going? Edit, boycotting is not a form of harassment, folks. It is just so cringe.
That'd be a good business decision, don't you think? You're a business and you decide, I'm not going to let approximately half of the country into my business because of their politics. That's a sure strategy to success, and I'm sure you make a lot of money. But Tim's right. David Pakman's content is purely for clicks, views, or whatever, and just to tell his audience exactly what they want to hear. But we want to hear from you. What do y'all think about the whole SNL thing? The fact that a David Pakman subreddit even exists? Let us know in the comments. Anyway, as always, really appreciate you watching, and we will see you on the next one.